Hi! There's a horrible word called microcontrast, and I made several videos about this over the year. I recently saw several threads posted online where people are still, and they do the same thing that they have been doing for countless years, arguing whether microcontrast exists. And it's a really horrible word. What it refers to specifically is image fidelity. Now, I know you probably have seen flash photography, and you're like, wow, man, that really pops, and you think it has to do with the flash. Well, you're correct, but what is it within a 1/10,000th second pulse of light from a speed light, say, to a person's face, or for product photography that really makes an image pop? And of course, pop is the sound that a flash makes, right? Wow, that image really pops. Like, well, sure, I used the flash. The flash popped, and it just popped right off the page. Why do you think that is? You think it's because you added more light? I mean, you could do ETTR, exposed to the right, i.e. sensor saturation, with ambient illumination. And yet it is an undeniable, 100% undeniable fact that two identical shots taken with the same camera, one doing ETTR, exposing all the way to the right, saturating the hell out of it without clipping the highlights, doesn't look within 1,000 miles as good as the same shot taken with a speed light or studio strobe. They're all xenon tubes. No matter whether you're talking about studio strobes or Godoxes or Elinchromes or Broncolor, they're all frigging xenon tubes. Yeah? So what's the distinction there? What is the distinction? The distinction is the image fidelity and tonality that pops out at you. You see a lot more gradation. You certainly see more details. Of course, we don't have to worry about daylight balanced illumination coming from various different freaky-deaky light sources. We're not talking about that either. The image fidelity is undeniable from a flash because of the horrible word microcontrast. Everything is SNR gain. I don't know, and I just got done seeing a video somewhere on YouTube where someone said ISO is the sensitivity of your sensor. Of course, that's not the case at all in digital photography. ISO has no connection to the sensor. ISO is applied gain. In other words, the image has already been captured and the gain is applied, kind of like diluting. Like if you need this much milk, but you've only got a half a glass of milk, you pour in some water and then you get that much milk, but it's not really milk. I mean, it's of course where we're talking about noise and artifacts coming in. What is it about a low element count lens that actually lends itself? Not all low element count lenses have great image fidelity or microcontrast, but a lot of them do. And all the really, really great ones have incredible image fidelity or microcontrast. And this is not something that I came up with. Zeiss calls it Zeiss pop. It's called microcontrast. It's called image pop. People talk about image pop, they think, oh, you use a speed light or a flash. I mean, yeah, that image pops. The tonality is just incredible. Why is the tonality just incredible? If you took two identical images, one with flash, one without, but both of them, brought the sensor right to the edge of clipping the highlights, why the hell does a flash shot? And it's not about color balance. It's not about bringing out the shadows, which of course a flash shot does. It's not about that, and that of course adds to the the stunning nature of the image. You see all this tonal gradation between tones, intertonal gradation. Have you ever listened to a binaural audio recording where someone goes to a concert, they stick a high gain microphone on one side of their head, they usually attach to their glasses or even on the side of a hat. You ever close your eyes and listen to a binaural audio recording? You could hear people coughing that like are in the audience, and you're like, you know exactly where they are. Like, that person coughed, and they're like right over here. There's like nobody in the room with you. That's how incredible the sound fidelity is. The image fidelity is that intertonal gradation. But yet, and it blows my mind, as a ham radio operator, gain is everything. Signal to noise ratio, yeah? Glasses, people say, well, glasses, people try to fight with me on this all the time. They say, well, glass is an insulator. Yeah, but it's also, too, a capacitor. You should look up a MIT video, Massachusetts Institute of Technology video called The Dissectable Capacitor. In other words, the charge is contained within the glass. This is a known fact. Glass is not only just an insulator, it's a capacitor. It's the same reason when those glass power pole insulators would explode when the power would drop from a lightning strike and the power come back on again. A huge surge. They were able to get rid of that, and they use a different type of glass, you know, the white glass that you see now. Ceramic, most of it's ceramic. Some of it's still glass, but they actually add additives to it so the glass doesn't reach capacitance. But the old glass on the old telephone poles in the early 1800s, it would explode because it would reach capacitance. The same reason why old microwave glass, you used to see stuff on glass bowls for your microwave, is say, microwave safe. There's an additive to that that actually keeps it from exploding. It gets bombarded and it reaches capacitance and the glass blows. It's not because of the heat. They used to tell me that, you know, when people didn't know stuff when I was younger, yeah, that glass bowl exploded in the microwave, it got too hot. It's like, no, it wasn't the heat. I mean, glass doesn't explode when it gets hot. Like if you're heating it up with a flame, it melts. Doesn't explode. Anyway, so-called image fidelity, or what you know, the common goof calls microcontrast, is as real as a heart attack. It is real. It is not some sort of like fairy tale. And a lot of these people on these forums, and I don't care what they say on forums, they say, well, you know, I just don't believe this stuff. These people have no idea what the hell a good lens is. They've never seen it because they've actually never held a really great lens in their hand. This is also, too, the reason why flash photography looks so much better. It's because of that intertonal detail. Microcontrast is a really, really stupid word. Correct for it is what I coined, image fidelity. That's exactly what the hell it is. Microcontrast is real. It is not like a phantom or a Bigfoot or, you know, a unicorn or a sky castle or a leprechaun with a pot of gold. It's real. It's SNR, signal to noise ratio. It's the intertonal gain. You ever had you taken an image like outdoors in some bright sunlight with like a low element count Zeiss lens, like my 35mm f2 or the 85mm 1.8? Countless at like, oh my god, the 135mm f2 APO sonar. Oh my god. There's a reason people buy these. Well, they buy them because they're sharp. Well, they are sharp. Not all of them. Zeiss's wide-angle lenses are not that sharp. The reason why people buy them is because they prefer the image output. Like, yeah, many of the very most popular Zeiss lenses, and I got a lot of Zeiss lenses. Of course they're sharp. But people don't go, wow. Because the image is sharp, they go, wow, because the image has incredible fidelity. One of the secrets of Leica is they put a weak color filter array on their color sensors, which allows better gain. And not only does Zeiss, most of Zeiss's lenses, and all of the really good lenses, every famous great Zeiss lens is a low element count lens, by the way. It means it has great image fidelity. But on top of that, Zeiss uses a weak color filter array, which lets more light in, because a color filter array is still a filter. It cuts light. But what Zeiss's color filter array over top of the sensor is a weak color filter array. Means it lets more light on top of the fact that they're using a low element count prime. The whole Leica, I could do the same thing with Fujifilm. I could do the same thing with Nikon, any of them. Now of course they don't have weak color filter arrays on Nikon or Fuji, but a great low element count prime lens with like the 105mm f2 Nikkor, the 135mm f2. One of the best ever is the 180mm 2.8 D series autofocus Nikkor. Another great one, 300mm 2.8, all of them. 400mm 3.5 AIS. Not the 200mm f2, that lens is got a lot of glass in it. I mean, got nice shallow depth of field, but that lens is just not that great. It's just not. I sold mine. I don't have it anymore. I used to have it, but don't have it anymore. 35mm f2 Nikkor, old D-series autofocus. 60mm 2.8, I could go on and on. The 35mm f1.4 Fujifilm lens. Quite a few Zeiss lenses, 50mm 1.4, 85mm 1.8. There's more than a few of them. 45mm 2.8 GF, a medium format GFX lens. Image fidelity is real. Anybody out there that tells you on a photography forum or board or any YouTube channel that image fidelity is just like a phantom, or they have no idea what they're talking about. Period, flat out. Period. Period. Anyway, I'm glad I could clear that up to some degree, I hope. Believe whatever you want. But if you want to have a debate on image fidelity, you will lose that debate with me. You won't have the evidence. I got the evidence. This video could easily have been 5 times longer than I made it. I present you a lot of evidence. The only reason I didn't make it 5 times longer is because I've already made a lot of videos on this subject already. Thank you. Peace out, Girl Scout.